So I did get a new like squish toy. Like I guess a squish toy. It's really big. I want to say it's about the size of a like a girl's softball. Like that's pretty good way to describe it. And then it's like kind of like bicycle tread, kind of like bicycle tread. Um all over it and stuff like that, all the different colors. And it's got the plugs on it, like this one and this one over here. You know, they're sealed and everything, but like that's where they plug them after they put the squish material in. Anyways, I got this one at Target. I guess it was Thursday. It was the same day that the same day that I'm going to be talking about here in just a second. This last Thursday. So right before we went to the appointment where the psychiatrist was going to go over my results um, for my neurological assessment, specifically on autism and ADHD. So anyway, so we're killing some time. We both took off work, which was awesome. I asked Melinda if she would take off the same day as me to be there for me, just because, like, mainly because I know it was going to be emotional either way, but also like I don't have the best memory, and I know that I would have been living in the moment right then and forgotten all the stuff that the psychiatrist would tell me that would be questions that I would have and I wouldn't realize till I got home. Um, so I wanted to have Melinda there for that as well. But anyways, so we went to Target and we were walking around, and it took us a little bit to try to find out where the squish balls and stuff like that would be, because in most Walmarts it's on the same aisle as the board game. So we're walking around, we walked down every single toy aisle, and literally I want to say, babe, wasn't it the last end cap of it was the very last end cap of the whole entire section, and then that's where they had them. They had I think they had some Nitos. They had a couple Nitos, but anyways, like it was a whole section of just fidgets, and I was like, man, this is awesome. So I spent some time there and I looked at they had a whole bunch of different type of squish toys and stuff like that. And some ones I've seen before, but this one caught my eye. Because again, it's like the size of a softball. It's got these little rubber, I don't know what you would call them, like things that stick up, edges, ridges, whatever you want to call them, that looks like tire tread. It's got that all over them. So it feels really cool when you're squeezing it and stuff like that. Like it's very satisfying. I would say it's in between like the basic Nito, like just the basic balls that bust and stuff like that really easily. It's a combination of that and like the Nito Cube. Like I love the Nito Cube. I actually was in Walmart earlier and I passed by that aisle, and I already knew that they still had some in stock probably. And I see these kids that were from Whitney because they were in the girl I think was a cheerleader, and she was wearing a blue W on their back or whatever. So anyways, they were over there, and then like they were trying them out, the Nito Cubes. And as soon as I like saw them, I kind of tried to give them look at them and smile, hoping that they saw like my TikToks and stuff like that, or students have told them about them. And they realize, oh, that's that guy that's always talking about the Nito Cubes. Because like, I'll be honest with you, I will own the Nito Cube in Hillsboro area. 100% will own the way kids are wanting them so bad and stuff like that, because I hear it from 100 7th and 8th graders every single day about these Nito Cubes. Oh, Mr. Ernest, where'd you get them? How can I get one? All that kind of stuff. So Nito Cubes are amazing. This is like the one I had to reopen a new one because my last one got lost. It's somewhere in the house. I'll find it eventually, but anyways, open a new one. So I really like this one from Target. It cost $10, and which is kind of high for me, just because especially the Nito Cubes are only $4 a piece, and so I could buy basically 2 or 3 of those for the price of one of these. So I was kind of hesitant, but man, I'm glad that I got it. Like it's got some durability. So like, I don't feel like it's going to explode if I like really squeeze on it and stuff like that. Plus it's got the ridges that feels really cool. And, I don't know. I just really like it. I think this is probably going to make it to my classroom. and be one of the ones that I use during class. So, but man, it just sucks because I can't find them online anywhere. I literally just found them at that Target store, and I think that it's like a Target company or something like that. So yeah, that was like the cool thing about going to Waxahachie on last Thursday. Is because we had some time to spend together. We went and ate lunch and stuff like that. And it was really cool, just spending some time together, just a couple hours, whatever, before my appointment, because my appointment was at 12. I guess that is why I really wanted to start recording, and I'm kind of glad that I remembered about this, so I could kind of explain how the day went a little bit. We got to Waxahachie, like, I don't know, 10ish, something like that. We shopped for a little bit, ate. My appointment was at 12, so we got to the appointment. We sat in the car for about 20 minutes, 15 20 minutes, whatever. And I just got to kind of like zone out. And then I think we went into the office probably about 11:50, something like that, about 10 minutes before. So we're in there, and I check in, knock on the window, whatever, and tell them I'm there. And it's kind of funny because we sat in the waiting room for like probably about 12:10. So we sat in there about 20 minutes. Like, and I get it because we had got the schedule changed and stuff like that. So I didn't they were probably going to be getting back from lunch right before 12. So I knew that I wasn't upset or anything like that. It happens. But so we're in there, the waiting room, for about 20 minutes. And man, this one guy comes in, and it was an interesting situation there in the waiting room. Just definitely very interesting. So he just kind of got my mind off of what we were about to talk about and stuff like that in my during my appointment with the psychiatrist, Dr. Donaldson. So I definitely got to give them credit over there. So it's the Donaldson Wellness Clinic, or sorry, Donaldson Wellness Center in Waxahachie. And it's Dr. Donaldson, and she has a lot of different, psychiatrists and different types of things in her office. Like, I'm sure that there's therapy and all kinds of stuff, but great folks over there. I really did enjoy the experience because it wasn't a very easy experience. I mean, like, it's the hardest thing I've probably ever done in my life as far as something for myself. So yeah, we got there 12:10. They called us back, and we went to back to her office, Dr. Donaldson, because she does the follow-up. She's the one that goes over the diagnoses and the report from the testing. And so we got back there, and you had to give me a second because I already feel my throat's getting a little dry. So we got back to the office, and we sat down, and Dr. Donaldson just kind of like went through, like, explaining how the tests work, how many different sections were scored, and kind of like how the whole process is as far as you know how I rated myself on the questions that they asked, how their different testing played into it, and how Melinda's survey went into it and stuff like that. So they wanted to make sure that they explained everything before going over anything. So probably every bit of 15 minutes, it felt like eternity to me. Like, was just going over like how the test, is done. Which was really cool because I appreciate that, because I mean, as far as I know, I was going to show up and they'd be like, "Hey, you're autistic or you're not autistic." You know what I mean? Like, I've never experienced anything like that before. So anyways, she goes over what the test deals with, and then I can't remember exactly the first thing that she said, but basically, some overall observations of the person that did the testing on me, the 6-hour testing that I did. I want to say it was probably the 1st of January, somewhere around then. It was during the Christmas break is when I did my testing. And then it was 6 weeks from then to have my follow-up appointment because, they were, it was going to take a little bit. Like they had a very thorough report and stuff like that. So, anyways, about 6 weeks later, and this was last Thursday that we went and talked to him. So I've had these for 2 days now, and this is the paperwork that this is our copies and stuff like that of the psychological report. So basically, just she went over like all of the notated details of the observations of me, and there's certain things that I guess the diagnostician, I think that's like, probably, you think that's, babe, what that person would be called, the one that like came in and did the testing on me? Would it be the diagnostician? Or so anyways, see, I'm not really good at saying those. Diagnostician, there you go, diagnostician. I'm just not good if it's not a word that I say all the time. So she just notated a lot of stuff, and they went over that, and probably 15 to 20 minutes after, us first getting back there and talking, is when she said that okay, so they're both what? They're both psychologists. Okay. Okay. So Miss Ramirez was the one that was the psychologist that did the testing on me. Awesome. And then Miss Donaldson is the psychiatrist over the group, is the one that did the recap with me. So 20 minutes into us being back there talking, and she said it in a way that I didn't know if I was clear on what she was saying. And then I think she kind of saw that in me. So within a few seconds after making her first statement is when she did tell me that I'm diagnosed with autism. She also went over how they agreed with my ADHD diagnosis back in October, not this last October, but the previous October. That's whenever my doctor, Dr. Bowerslag here in town, diagnosed me as ADHD. And that's when I started taking prescribed medicine to help with that. So, all right. So she talked about I'm diagnosed as what's called a uh level 1 form of autism. It's changed a lot over the years as far as how they diagnose autism, and now it's the test that is globally recognized as the agreed way to diagnose autism. And the outcomes of the test is either level 1, level 2, or level 3. So level 1 is high functioning, is what they used to call it. Low support needs. There you go. It's what that's the general classification of level 1. So low support needs. We haven't had Hunter tested since he was very young. He's 12 now, and back when he was first diagnosed, wasn't it moderate to severe autism at that time? So based on that and my research and the different levels of autism, level 1, 2, and 3, I would put him at a level 2, because he has high functioning skills that he can do much more complicated things than I think people with a more severe form of autism could do. So back then, if the if the way that they diagnose it was based on the 1, 2, 3 scale, he would have been a level 3 autistic, which is maximum support needs. So level 2 is like kind of like, the midpoint, you know what I mean, as far as not low support needs, but like just mid support needs. And then level 3 is maximum support needs. So he's went from a 3 to a 2. Definitely there's some things that we're still working on, and trust me, we get frustrated about it all the time, and I'm not ashamed to say it's just he's just not fully potty trained. And it's difficult, it's very difficult on him. It's very difficult on us playing that part in that very private part of someone's life, as far as having to clean up and bathe and stuff like that. So he still has very, very much struggles. He struggles on a daily basis. But with saying that, he's also the sweetest soul you'll ever meet. Like he is. Um, he's always happy, always wants to give hugs, and he's always full of emotion. The boy jumps and dances around the living room like hours a day, and it's just his way of stemming and getting out that energy. He's just an amazing soul. So he's done great things. He's done great things. He's went from a level 3 to a level 2, and he keeps on getting better. So I'm super proud of him. And that's the thing I want to say is like, um, autism is not something you get cured. It's not. Like when I say he got better, it's that his development has gotten really good. I think a lot to do with the people in his lives in the school. His teacher this year, same teacher as last year, just amazing. Miss Trinkle, and he's got some amazing aides in there, and I talk about them on Facebook all the time. I need to do more of that though, because they need to know how much they're appreciated. But a lot to do with having um, a great crew over there at the Hillsborough Intermediate in the special education department. Also with me and Melinda and I being more intentional on on the things that we're trying to get him to grasp, being very intentional, more and more freedom and stuff like that. So he's done great. He's done amazing things. So back to my diagnosis and stuff like that. So she went over everything and she said, yes, you're level 1 autistic. Um, you have ADHD, and we're confirming what the doctor diagnosed you with earlier. You do have ADHD. And she said that I have generalized anxiety disorder. Generalized anxiety disorder. And I've got to do my own research on that. I always knew I had anxiety issues. I've been on anxiety medicine for how many years, babe? 6, 7? I don't know, but it just great. Like it's changed my life. Like it allowed me to focus on myself back then, and then like as far as my health and worry about my back, and that's when I had my back surgery. And then it helped transition into teaching and finding love and joy in that, and caring more about myself over the last few years. I have to thank Melinda for starting to push me to the point where I had to start caring about myself, because it wasn't something that was easy for me. So I love you a lot, and thank you for doing that for me. So yeah, so that's what I'm diagnosed with, is as far as everything they tested on is those 3 things. So um one of the things that she did go over, and I think which is very good, because give me just a second, babe. Can you give me another bottle of water, please? Whenever you get in an evaluation, I think a good evaluator, whether it be in teaching or in business, and this is something that I had the privilege to do a lot with my career with Walmart and Sam's Club, was evaluations and teaching and training and mentoring and stuff like that. And I had my bad times, and I would like to think that I had a lot of good ones too, as far as being a successful mentor to some great people. In that evaluation, you should give the result, like the overall result, like, hey, this is what you scored. Just like, hey, she got eventually to the point where she said, yes, you are autistic, yes, this is this as well, and you're also diagnosed with this. She got to that point, and then she went back through and she hit the key areas. And she got to this one will always stick with me, and I did a little bit more research on it since. But she told me that the one thing that they did notice was there's a part of the test that is commonly referred to as the chameleon type scale. Right? Isn't it? Camouflaging. There you go. I always used to call it chameleon. Camouflage. They call it the camouflage scale, or whatever. And what this scale is, it goes from 25 to 175. And if you get 100 or higher, a score of 100 or higher, that like basically you're autistic, and that that camouflaging number shows how good you are at masking those things from other people. So it means like makes perfect sense to me, because I have always said to anybody that's been in my life like long enough, definitely my wife, all my family, like a lot of my APAs, my asset protection associates that worked with me, my fellow APMs, my friends, I always told them I have this ability to pick up something from one person and like kind of duplicate it. And what I do is I don't just start talking like the people I'm hanging around. I only talk like the coolest person in the group of the people that we're hanging around. So I've had Landry Snodgrass, my niece, on one of my podcast episodes around Halloween. And like I was so excited whenever she said that she wanted to do it, and whenever the day came, I was so super excited. Sorry, gotta communicate with Melinda. That's my alarm. I done lost where I was at. So Landry, yes, okay. See, and stuff like that. That's the ADHD thing. Something throws me off. Also my autism thing. Something throws me off, and I completely lose where I was at. Because that loud chime and everything just completely lost me. So anyways, so Landry, yeah, so she came on the podcast, and it was amazing. And I knew, and I remember telling her this, and Melinda, that like I knew that it was just going to be nothing but laughing the entire time, because that's what she does for me. Like if you watch the episode, then you already know. And if you haven't watched the episode, you got to check it out. It's the Halloween episode. I don't know what episode number it is. I'll put it in this video. But it's when Landry came over and we did these fun taste test type things of candies and sodas and all kinds of stuff, and we did costumes and tried to make each other laugh. But she has a very unique laugh, and I can't recreate it unless I'm actually laughing. So if someone told me a joke or some kid did it did something in class and got me laughing, but it's like like it's that exact. That's pretty close. That's pretty close. So I didn't realize it, but like after that episode, I loved that laugh so much, and it made me feel so much joy in my heart that I stole that laugh and I use it in class now a lot. And like it's not something that I'm like making fun. It's like that was amazing to me. I want to share it with the rest of the world. That's the best way I can describe it. And it's so awesome that I feel like I'm able to describe this stuff more clearly now and more confidently. So I take the qualities of others and I steal them for myself. I started whenever I watched the first Ace Ventura movie. I can tell you that's exactly what it was. That and watching Mad TV back in the day. And I could do Mrs. Swan and I can do Stewart. So hold on. Mrs. Swan.
Oh no! I tell you everything. No, he look like a you. He look like a him. He look like a man.
So Mrs. Swan, and then of course there's Stewart. No, 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 no. I don't want to. No.
Let me do it. Let me do it.
So, anyways, I loved being the comic guy, and I used to do those two impressions all the time in Miss Simpson's theater class whenever I was in high school. So, and it was my senior year because I remember where her classroom was, where I used to do those impressions. So, when she talked about my camouflage score, so again, it goes from 25 to 175. So 100 means you're autistic and you mask those behaviors really well as far as your autistic traits. And so out of 25 to 175, she said, I don't even know if she said my name, but she said, talking to me, she said, you scored a 168. 169, sorry, 169 out of a maximum of 175. And like she made it very well known that that's extremely high. And like I don't know, I didn't ask her because at the time I was so in my emotions and head and stuff like that, but I almost want to say, have you seen one higher? You know what I mean? Because it's like, come on now. Like, I see those shirts now all the time that says autism is my superpower or whatever. Like, tell me if that's not almost like a superpower. If like I've mastered the ability to steal people's like personalities and mash them up into this one shell, right? Because I'm not creative on my by myself. I just have to look and take other stuff. But here's how I see it. Like I do know that it feels wrong for knowing that I've stole those for so long, but like I think of it as this: it should be the biggest form of flattery because just like with my niece Landry, I stole her laugh because it brought me joy. I would steal like my accents. I would steal like the way that I talked, the way I walked. I would steal all kinds of stuff from the people that I admired in my life. And that made me laugh and made me happy and stuff like that. And that was my way of creating this persona or whatever that people see, the perception of me as these things that I love, but they're really not kind of me being me. That was kind of weird. So I scored really high on the camouflage scale, and I can't remember, babe. Was there anything that they really talked about in detail, like other than that? She talked about, she addressed like um, they observed me fidgeting a lot, rocking back and forth a lot, um, over aware of my surroundings. So like I counted, had memorized in the room how many seats there were, how many paintings were on the walls and stuff like that. That was part of like the thing. And like I was able to answer it. So anyways, it was just weird. So she just talked about that, talked about my stimming, like how I rock back and forth, how I bounce my knee, how I brought a fidget in. I brought I want to say I brought the gumdrop no, it was probably the Neato Cube. I brought that original blue Neato Cube and I was just playing with it pretty much the whole time. So she notated all of that and the eye contact as well. That's something that I've been unmasking for about a few months now because I already knew I was autistic. I did a big amount of research on it. I'll definitely say that. Did a big amount of research on it, and I knew I was autistic. So about a few weeks ago, whatever, or a few months ago, I started like not trying to people please in every possible situation. Now, that doesn't mean that like if someone asked for help, I would say no. That would just mean I wouldn't overly go out of my way to make sure that everyone else doesn't have to. I wanted people to like me, and I would basically just go out of my way to do whatever I can for anybody else so that they would like me. Um, so I stopped doing that fully. Like I wouldn't say it stopped altogether. Like I kept the close people in my life very close and still like basically my circle got smaller and all the people and and B lunch at the junior high, like y'all are all in my circle. So you know who all y'all are. I love y'all to death too. Um, and I started like unmasking, right? And like it was so funny that some people kind of showed me who they were a little bit, and it opened up my eyes a lot. I still love everybody. I absolutely do. And I know that this is going to be scary for me and Melinda and everybody else over the next few months, maybe even years. Like now I know, no. I have not only what I know to be me, but also a diagnosis that was exactly what I asked for, which was completely unbiased, just a a true assessment. And that's what I got. So I have that now. And now that I know that that's what it is that's been making things like so hard my whole life, like it explains it and I can kind of forgive myself or start to forgive myself for making myself feel horrible because I can't do things as easily as other people. Like it's not like I watch them do social interactions and stuff just on a normal basis and that just scares me. But I overcame my fear every single time. And that was the mask. And that was all of that built up tension and pressure and all that anxiety and stress, all that just to people please. Um, and whenever you kind of let that go, it makes you feel really good. So, anyways, it's gonna be a I'm sure not a smooth road. I'm hoping it is. I know that everything in my life, once I put my mind to it, like I'm going to master it. Like that's just how I am. Like that's how I was in business. That's how I am as a teacher. Like I that becomes my passion and my focus, and I can't fail at that, and I have to be the best version of myself that I possibly can be, because I now, not only is that something that I want to be good at, but now I have this semester about 70 or so kids that need me. They need me to be that person for them. They need me to push them every single day, but also understand that they're humans and they have a lot of stuff going on in their lives right now. And my role is to be open and honest with them and listen to them and help them as much as I possibly can. I'm excited. I haven't got emotional yet. I thought I was gonna get emotional during this, but I was so worried about the things that I said and the words that I said, and I don't want to mess up, and I want to stay on track, that I really didn't get a chance to feel it. And I know it's going to hit me. And I've been sleeping a lot the last 2 or 3 days, like a lot. Like I still get up like around 6 in the morning or whatever, but like I take multiple naps. My body was just exhausted. Today is the first day that I feel like right now, maybe a few hours ago, that my body is feeling good again. So I had a lot of stress and anxiety on me that I built up over the last couple months. I appreciate y'all stepping. I was about to say stepping in, like step. I appreciate y'all stopping in, checking out the live. I'm going to edit this video, probably send it out sometime in a couple days or something like that. So I love y'all. I really do. Even though right now, I'll be honest with you, I don't know who's all watching. And if it was even one person, it was enough for me. Just to know that somebody was there. But if you ever watch again, just know I do love you too. And like I'm always like available. You don't have to know me for us to talk. So, anyways, I'll see y'all later.